What's up, y'all? This Lil WB back at it again, another Slab History 101. Today, we on the north side with it, you know what I'm saying? Talking about a Slab King, you know what I'm saying? A name that everybody from, I don't care what neighborhood you're from, the north side, the south side, east side, west side, down to Austin, all the way down to Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? It's a name that ring bells from every generation and every area when it comes to this slab, you know what I'm saying? So today we're gonna talk about Byron Mack. When we talk about this north side, it's one thing that you kind of gotta understand when it comes to the northeast. On the northeast, it's a lot of, different neighborhoods. You got just Homestead alone, you got Rosewood, Scenic-Wood, Fontaine, Northwood Manor, Shady Timbers, you got Nine Block, you got Riverwood down on the other end, you got Houston Gardens, and then breaking off, you go into Trinity Garden, then you go into Cashman Garden, then you go on Wayside, and you got Lakewood, and then you got a neighborhood called City Gas, and that's where Byron Mack is from, City Gas. So that brings us into one of the first known slabs that people, might have remember seeing him or where they got introduced to Byron Mack. In 1988, he had an 83 hardtop L-Dog. I think it was blue, you know what I'm saying? So I always like to say this too, that every time I do my research about the slabs in the 80s, it comes off, the elbows and swingers come off of, the L-Dogs, Tornadoes and stuff like that. But you really don't hear too many people from the 80s that had L-Dogs, you know what I'm saying? Because those were the wheels that they came on. They came on the L-Dog, you know what I'm saying? So one of his first cars was in 88, 83 hardtop L-Dog. Then he came with the candy green and white interior Park Ave. If I'm not mistaken, I know at some point he had another Park Ave, or it was a LeSabre or something that he bought from the south side. I think it was somebody named Derek Hines that he bought it from. They used to ride gold back in the day. But somebody, Fred Love, my Uncle Fred Love, told me that the first time he seen B-Mac, he seen him in I think it was a gold Park Ave, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if that's the one that he sprayed candy green with the white guts, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on, man. He had 63 Impala switches, the Marble Hog, green BMW with the gold BBSs, the Lexus, candy painted Lexuses. Putting cars together. It's a paint shop that was called Street Dreams. I don't think they around no more, but a lot of OGs do tell me that it was a paint shop that they used to go to back in the day called Street Dreams. This might have been like the late 80s, early 80s, early 90s, you know what I'm saying? But I think at some point, they kind of did away with, he had bought the marble L-Dog from Keith O'Neill over there in Fontaine. He had a Burgundy Park Ave, and he sold it to Fat Mike. During this time, he going to Street Dreams, and then that's when Ernest, if you know the history between, just the north side and who was doing kind of the north side cars in the early days, like in the 90s, Ernest with Fly Rides was doing them. I think at first he was over there in C King, and then he opened up Fly Rides. So after Street Dreams, Ernest started doing his cars. And then I think around like 1993, 1994 maybe, that's kind of when he started to go to Ike. And then ever since then, that was really the only cars that was the only shop that he would let spray his cars was Ike. And from back then all the way to now, if you took your car to Ike, you was gonna pay a bag. You had to be somebody to, pull up in Ike and get a car sprayed, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to just continue to run down the list of, some of the cars that I know of, that other people have told me that he had. Then he had the infamous two-door slant back with the clear top. That's one that everybody talk about still to this day because, it's a car that you just never seen before. Being that it's a slant back convertible, two-door slant back convertible, but it had a clear top. I don't know what possessed them to kind of do that, you know what I'm saying? But that's something that nobody's seen. And I think from Studewood was the only other person that did a clear top on their car. And, it's always a lot of myths that you always hear about Byron Mack because, he one of those people that is kind of like, you hear the name, but you never see him, you know what I'm saying? You hear whispers about him, but you don't know what he looked like. You just know what his car looked like. And one thing he infamous to this day is a lot of people tell me, even back then to now, I mean, if he coming on the boulevard, he kind of just creeping through, you know what I'm saying? Gonna pass up, throw the deuce up, and skirt off onto the night. It's another myth that I kind of want to, kind of settle because I asked him myself. It's a myth that you always hear that he pulled up one day and had in his trunk, where's Ernest and who is LaBree? But, I went to a shop one time and he told me like that wasn't true. He don't know where they really came from. So it's a lot of myths about B-Mac, you know what I'm saying? And it's pretty cool because, I mean, it's like you just hit a name, you see the cars, but you don't really know who is behind the wheel of them cars, you know what I'm saying? I know Mexican Bebe told me one time that they was at, I think, Caro's, like way back in the day, like the early 2000s. And it was him and B-Mac, and it was like some other guys over there, and they was like, oh yeah, we know B-Mac, yeah, that's our homeboy. And then Bebe was like, oh, what he look like? And, oh, he dark skinned, he short, da-da-da-da. And it just wasn't him, you know what I'm saying? And B-Mac was standing right there and was like, man, this B-Mac, yeah, you don't know B-Mac, you know what I'm saying? But that's just one of the kind of cool things, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that'll hit me up, myself, and be like, man, can you please interview him? We'll pay to get him interviewed, you know what I'm saying? Because people don't even know what he look like. They always hear the name from the north side, south side, east side, west side, but he kind of like Batman, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the slab. So, I know he don't want to do an interview, but it's kind of cool that you kind of got that mysterious, like mysterious slab superhero, you know what I'm saying? To go down the list a little bit more, some of the cars he had, I know at one point he had a whole bunch of drop rivets. I think a green one, a burgundy one, and I can't forget the other one, what it was. And I'm jumping around a little bit because, like I say, he had so many cars to where realistically, and I'm saying this, and it's a fact that I know people who have seen all these cars that was cool with him, close with him during them times. I mean, he literally probably had well over 50 slabs, and I mean 50 clean, complete slabs, you know what I'm saying? Back in 91, he had the Candy Benz. Before he went to jail, he had the STS. And then, I don't know if it was before or after he got out of jail, he had a candy red L-Dog that he sold to Todd out of City Gas. Had white insides, white top, you know what I'm saying? And then after he got out of jail, he had, from what I've, been taught and told, it was the first DTS, you know what I'm saying? First DTS that came out on the streets, you know what I'm saying? It was candy red, butter insides, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, that's when he get into the legendary stretches. From my understanding, he kind of saw JC do it first, you know what I'm saying? Well, way back in the day, I think him and Boo-Mac seen Mexican Joe coming down one time, so this way back in the game, but he saw Mexican Joe coming down, with the orange slant stretch, and was like, even back then, was like, man, I got to give me one of them because, I mean, really, it's like the ultimate slab. And then, you had JC during this time pulling out his stretches, so B-Mac kind of, was like, I'm just finna go into the stretch game. So that's when he got the stretches, and during this time, like I'm saying, from 88 to, whatever year, he kind of got that first stretch. I don't know if it was like 09, 2010, 2011, whenever it was when he got his first stretch, all the way back until 1998, he was only riding original foes, you know what I'm saying? And then when he got that stretch, that's when he started doing the Texan Wild Wheels, you know what I'm saying? From seeing, JC, Mexican Joe way back in the day, and, he felt like that was the most ultimate slab, and, he had, I don't know what kind of headlights they were. I don't know if they came off of a truck or what, but on one of them, I know he had the headlights on there with, it was like some diamond headlights, some headlights you just ain't never seen the slab game before, but you know what I'm saying? That's what he was kind of known for, having a neat, clean car that you pretty much ain't gonna see, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, back in the 80s, you ain't really just see too many L-Dogs, and, he had an L-Dog on 4, you know what I'm saying? Glass house. When the Rivets, was kind of a thing too, he had a bunch of Rivets during that time. Slant, like I said, slant with the clear top. He had things that you just really wouldn't see like that. And, he coming out with another car, everybody know the stretch slant that he just had, probably like the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years or something like that. But he sold it to Big Baby out of Sittingwood. And, you know what I'm saying, that car alone, you know, was killing the game, you know what I'm saying. I can't even go through all the stretches he had, you know what I'm saying. They're probably the only pictures that you're going to see on this video. But, you know, he had about 3-4 stretches. I know one of them didn't really touch the streets like that. He put it together and sold it to some people. But, you know, he had the little stretch stint. But now he coming out with another car. And I know I always ask my people in my interviews that I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, who they feel like they top 5 or the Slab Kings, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, pound for pound, you know, you got to give it to JC too, you know what I'm saying, because he was there from the beginning to now. But, man, other than JC, pound for pound, man, you got to give it to B-Mac. He been holding it down for over 30 years, and he never stopped. That's one thing he never did. He never stopped. He going to always keep riding something clean. It's going to be something that you never seen before. He going to keep it classy, you know what I'm saying? And I had, you know, the chance to actually walk up to him and meet him, you know what I'm saying? I went to a shop one day. I knew that was his shop. I went to a shop one day, and, man, he walked outside and was like, man, I already knew you was finna come see me, you know what I'm saying? So, he, you know, he watched the channel. He watched all the boys, the interviews and stuff like that. But, you know, just me sitting there asking him questions for 3 hours and him giving me a whole rundown of his story, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? And I would say on this video, I would really say, man, if I ever do Byron Mack, like, he would literally probably be the last one I ever do. Because, I mean, man, when I chopped it up with him for them 3 hours, man, it was like he really gave me the game. So I like to say that, you know, we all slab riders. We all love this culture, you know what I'm saying? But when I think of a slab rider, when I think of the slab, you know what I'm saying, B-Mac is like the epitome of a slab rider, a slab nigga. You know? Man, to see him was kind of crazy because you hear all these stories, these myths, and, you know, he real chill, laid back, you know what I'm saying? But when he opened his mouth, it's straight slab history, slab talk, you know. It's the epitome of a slab rider. So, you know, everybody got their own opinions. Everybody got their own, you know, outlook on the slab. But to me, Byron Mack is the slab king, you know what I'm saying, with JC too, you know, and a few others. But when I think about the slab, man, Byron Mack, that's the king of it, you know what I'm saying? So salute to the OG. Be on the lookout for him coming out. You know, if you see that slant back stretch that he had, you know that that's Big Baby coming through. Man, the man that put together some cars that a lot of people can't do. From foreigns, bourbon trucks on blades, you know, and when I'm saying this, I'm saying foreign that's candy painted, done up insides. Suburban, done up insides, candy paint. Trucks, done up insides, candy paint, slabbed out all the way. To get game from him, you know, you really getting game from an OG. You know, he gonna tell you what he feel like is how the slab's supposed to look, you know? So I done got a few pointers from him and stuff, and, man, you know, he like that classy look, you know what I'm saying? So, man, salute to the OG. I don't know if you'll ever get an interview from him, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a lot of the OGs, you know, they don't like the camera too much. But, man, just know Byron Mack, that's one of the slab kings, you know what I'm saying? When you talk about the slab, you talk about your top 5, I always be on the lookout for Byron Mack. So, man, it's Lil WB, Slab OGs TV. Tune in every Monday, tune in every Friday. Man, y'all subscribe to the channel, doing memberships, $4.99 a month. I'm gonna have exclusive videos, exclusive footage that's not on the channel. Man, y'all tune in, man. Got merchandise coming in. You know, just stay tuned. You know, my cutlass coming out soon. So, yeah, man, Slab OGs TV, we out.